It's Wednesday, the 9th of June. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony, and a happy hump day to all of you. And welcome to our audience, brand new audience, over on the LinkedIn social media platform, where we are now broadcasting live for the very first time. More of that shortly, but if you're watching us live for the first time, please feel free to ask questions or post comments in the chat on your chosen platform, and I will do my best to address all of them at the end of the show. We will get to the news headlines in just a second, but first, let's rest a while in the field of celebrity birthdays.
Happy birthday!
And it's many happy returns today to the father of railways, engineer George Stephenson, to composer Cole Porter, and to comedian Jackie Mason, to the man who gave us the solid body electric guitar and thereby invented rock music as we know it, Les Paul, to legendary singer Jackie Wilson, to actors Michael J. Fox and Johnny Depp, and most importantly of all, apparently it's a very happy birthday today to Donald Duck. We'll be right back after this. Amidst all the talk of material shortages, it's been quite easy to forget that the UK construction industry is still gripped by a worsening skills shortage. But that skills shortage has not gone away. In fact, news portal Construction Inquirer is reporting this morning that the sector will require an extra 217,000 workers by 2025 to meet the demand from a faster than predicted bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic. Forecasts by the CITB's Construction Skills Network, or CSN, have been dramatically revised as the industry recover picks up pace. CSN now believes that the industry will reach 2019 levels of output in 2022, 3 years earlier than the last round of forecasts in December. According to the CSN, most English regions will experience an increase in construction workers by 2025, with the East Midlands up by 1.7% and the West Midlands up by 1.4%, leading demand. Scotland at 1.4% and Wales at 0.7% are also predicted to fare well. The only region expected to see a slight decline in workforce is the North East, which is expected to be down by 0.1%, which is surprising given the sheer magnitude of the Teesside Freeport project, the largest brownfield development in the whole of Western Europe. You can read more about all of that over at constructioninquirer.com this morning. As if satisfying the industry's need for almost 250,000 new workers weren't enough to contend with, skills body CITB is facing legal action over the recent sale of the Construction Plant Competence Scheme, or CPCS. CITB, you might recall, sold the Plant Operator Skills Card Scheme to educational charity Nocen, N-O-C-N, back in 2019. But the handover was far from smooth, which is probably the understatement of the year, and Nocen was subsequently forced to make a public apology to the industry over delays. Latest financial results for Nocen job cards for the year to July 31st, 2020 show the scheme made an operating loss of £332,000. And now Nocen is taking legal action against the CITB over the sale. In a statement, Nocen says, as a result of the significantly lower than expected income levels and data transfer issues in relation to the CPCS business, Nocen Job Cards submitted a legal claim against CITB to court in March 2021 in respect of the purchase of the CPCS business from CITB. Braden Connolly, CITB Director of Products and Services, said CITB will vigorously defend itself against the claims made by Nocen Job Cards. Now, Kobelco Construction Machinery Europe, or Kobelco as we all know them, has announced the introduction of the new SK210 LC-11 excavator and the narrow undercarriage version, which is the SK210 NLC-11. Powered by a 124 kilowatt stage 5 compliant Hino diesel engine, the new models benefit from an increase in operating weight, increased stability, and superior lifting capacity. When fitted with the standard 4.3 tonne counterweight, the SK210 LC-11 is ideally suited to general construction and economic transport. An optional 4.9 tonne counterweight can be fitted for heavy duty applications for use with attachments and and tilt rotators. We'll be bringing you more details of the new Kobelco machines over at Diggers and Dozers later this morning. Oh, and if you do dash out to buy one of these splendid new machines from Kobelco, and you're in the market for an equally splendid new bucket, then be sure to check out the new video from my Construction Collective colleague, Peter Haddock, that dropped earlier this morning. Peter has recently paid a visit to the factory of Digbits to look at just some of the buckets currently being produced at the company's facility in Rugeley. It used to be in the shadow of the Rugeley Power Station cooling towers, but as of Sunday, those don't exist anymore, but yeah, they are in Rugeley and they do produce some very, very good buckets indeed. You can find Peter's video by searching across the various social media platforms, but if you're watching on LinkedIn, you have probably seen the video already, because with 12,500 connections, Peter is probably the UK construction's most connected person. Now, speaking of LinkedIn, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is the first time I've been permitted to broadcast live to the LinkedIn platform. So if you're watching us on LinkedIn for the first time, here's a few things that you need to know. We, or rather I, have been live streaming to the combined demolition and construction industry since March 2020. We've produced more than 250 live shows in that time. The Breakfast Show, which is what you're watching now, is broadcast live each weekday morning at 10 a.m. sharp to coincide with the traditional mid-morning break on sites up and down the UK. And yes, I always wear these glasses and this hat, but the beard comes and goes. Until now, this show has been broadcast live via Facebook, but LinkedIn has generally had to wait for us to upload the recording to YouTube and then cross-post it here. I've been begging and pleading with the powers that be on LinkedIn to allow me to stream live here for quite some time, and they finally caved first thing this morning. So you can expect to see my happy, smiling face. And if you know me, you will know that's a falsehood in itself. You can expect to see me here every weekday from now on. That pretty much concludes our 75th Breakfast show and our first to be broadcast live on LinkedIn. Regardless of which platform you're watching this on, I hope you can join us again, same time, same place on the morrow. But until then, stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends and your colleagues. And I will see you all again very, very soon.